YouTube?
Let me lady take you down. Let me take you down to Bucktown.
How's it going, everybody? It's Eryan with Siegfried's Motorworks here today to bring you the next episode of our Cafe Racer budget build series. Right down here, you're going to be seeing what's going on. That is our last time lapse of our mock-up. As you can see, I'm redundant with a lot of the same stuff, so that'll be down there for now. But at this point, I'm going to take you in and show you most of the stuff that we've done while it's in its raw form. Then we're going to actually show you the teardown of the bike. So, and I'll take the camera. So in the back, we did end up taking the frame and making our own subframe seat frame, having that welded in. Now the welding is going to get re-gone over right before powder coat once we have it completely torn down. It makes it a lot easier as far as flipping things around, getting in without having to contort your body too much. We added these RFY rear shocks. We have here what is going to be our seat pan. We have our tentative positioning for our rear tank mount. This tank is going to get sent out. We are going to be adding 2 bungs here as well. So that's why we have that marked. We're actually going to be closing off what would have been the fuel gauge for this 16 Fat Bob tank. And then here, this is all going to get flushed in and make this hole disappear. We did have to buy a set of CBR 600. Andrew, what you remember? What were those? 07?
They were like
04. We had to get a set of left and right side. Wait, did we have to switch this one out? We didn't switch this out. We just got the perch. Yeah, so we had to get the perch and the master cylinder off of the 04, 05, 06, 07 CBR 600RR to make our levers work. We did add the PSR gold roller click levers. Motor-wise, we didn't do anything. Front end, we didn't do anything. We did order boots that are going to go here. We do have those. There's an unboxing video. I'll put that up here of the boots we're going to actually end up using. We did add a Daymaker headlight to the front end. We switched out the bucket. It was just cheaper to do it that way. We also added this Cafe Racer style bullet cow. Over here again, you can see this PSR lever we added. We did have the airbox. We're not going to be running the stock airbox. We're going to be running a Unipod. I'll put a link to the review of that product here as well. But at any rate, this is where we are at right now. We are going to be tearing it down. So stay tuned for that, and you can see everything that's going on there. We're going to be starting tearing down here. A couple little tips and tricks that we've had come up over the years, and I'll show you the actual piece of cardboard after the fact. But we're going to label all of these bolts for where they came off of. It makes it a lot easier for putting things back together. And then, as we're taking the wiring harness, it's
around and fucking long.
I'm not, I'm recording.
Just go
back to what you were doing.
Anyway, so what's going to end up happening is, as we're taking this wiring harness apart, we're going to be marking the plugs and the connectors to make our life, again, as easy as possible when we're putting this thing back together. So at any rate, we're going to throw it up to the camera up here, send you guys on a time lapse of putting this back together. Again, pay attention down here. We're doing something a little different for you guys so it's not so boring on this video. So right now, this is what we're going to be doing differently in this video. Kyle and I are going to be sitting here talking. We're going to kind of give you a description of what's going on the screen up here. And also, we're going to be just giving you a little bit of insight on the bike here and there, answering some of the questions that people have asked throughout this project. Right now on the screen, you can see Kyle and I are actually going through and we're pulling the wiring harness. One thing that we end up doing when we pull this wiring harness is we take a paint pen. Sharpie actually makes them, and we make designs on each side of the plug. That way, when we're going to put the wiring harness back in, we will be able to find its buddy pretty quickly. But one of the things I think we're struggling with the most right now, I would say, is the motor.
Yes, the motor. Motor is probably the worst thing out of the whole teardown part.
Like, it's crazy to think the whole bike, basically, up until this point, we might have an hour and a half in total taking the bike down to nothing. Like, right now, you can see us here. Like, this is how quickly the front end comes apart. We still have the bottom triple tree in, but, you know, we're pulling the wheel off here. We're pulling the front end off, and it's crazy to think how quickly everything else comes off this bike, but we just can't get the motor out so we can send the frame to powder coat at this point.
And as you can see in our video that we have, leaving the front on really helps you out too with stabling the bike, keeping it, you know, on your lift, or if you're doing it on the ground, it definitely helps a lot.
But yeah, so right now here, you can just see we just took the swing arm off there. All right, so here we are right now. So wing arms off, all our wiring harness is off. We have the motor. It's like a little 1 or 2 step away from being at the point where it can come out. After we get the motor out, we'll pull the forks off, pull the tire off the forks, pull this fender off the front tire, and at that point we're basically broken down and ready to go to paint, powder. This is actually going to go over to Dirty Dick or Dirt Nasty Fab, and it'll be he's going to massage all this in, then he still has to build up the battery box. We're not doing anything with the seat until we get that back from till we get the frame back and we kind of know how everything's going to look. Then we're going to start on a seat. That's where we're at, so keep watching up there and you'll see the rest of this come apart. So I said 90% of the way to having the motor out and basically being done, but I would say that was a little bit off.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's up until this point, like you can see here in the video, I mean, the wiring harness is out. The top triple tree's still on, but we're working on that right now. All you want to do is just use a nice rubber mallet and knock it up. If you're real tight or your top triples are seized at all, one thing that you can do is put a little bit of like WD-40 or a little bit of grease on those of some kind that is removable after the fact to give them a little bit of lubrication. You don't want to coat it, just a little bit. But ours wasn't seized up. We could just knock it right out. I actually almost hit Kyle in the face with it when it finally decided to be free. But yeah, so I would say one of the questions that we get asked most by people just either on YouTube, on the other videos that we have about this project, or even just people who pay attention to the channel in general. One of the questions I think we get asked the most is, are we going to be on our budget?
That's a good question. When you're doing a project, you never know until you get into it. What are we at?
It's kind of tough to say exactly where we're at. I haven't actually sat down and put numbers together. I think when we were tentatively talking about everything, one of the things we didn't take account for is how expensive the paint was going to be. And that's not to say, I mean, we could rattle can this bike, but I just don't think it's going to give us the look that we want.
Yeah.
So we decided, I mean, we're going a more expensive paint route than originally planned, but one thing that we want to do with this bike is make it our show bike. So this is going to be a bike we're going to try and take around just to show what we can do. Hopefully the next one that we do doesn't have a motor
Quite as difficult as this one.
Yeah, that's one of the things that they started doing. They made a removable, now on most bikes they make a removable frame, so you actually unbolt one side of the bottom rail, frame rail, and it makes your life a lot easier as far as getting it out because it creates all that room that we really need.
And we tried every angle. Now we're at the point where we removed the valve covers on top, hoping that would give us enough clearance to get it out, but unfortunately it's doing
Yeah, so we just pulled the oil pan off because we're getting desperate, but the oil pan has
the oil pump right there. So we're gonna try something else.
Another thing,
it'll work.
The other thing you got to realize too is, so you're watching a time lapse here. This is literally being played at 3,500% speed. So this is 2 hours.
I would say it's definitely taking a lot of time.
Actually, you know what? I think this is at 2,000%.
Okay.
Normally I do 3,500, but because we're doing this a little different, I wanted to make the video a little longer. I mean, we have the service manual for the bike, but it says to remove the engine, all it gives us is just an exploded diagram, which is really helpful for something like this. That I mean, they had to have built the frame around the motor.
That's where we're at with it. So, I mean, once you remove that oil pan, your oil pump's right there. So, I mean, if you're feeling confident enough in yourself to try to get it out, I mean, go for it, but there's a good chance you're going to damage that pump, and then you'll have to deal with that. So, what we're going to try next is to lay the bike on its side, and we're going to try to just lift the frame just straight up, and hopefully that will do it so we don't risk damaging the pump. And if it works, you guys will all know about it here soon.
Yeah,
and
so
if anyone has anything else or knows any other way, you know, please put in the comment section below. So if anyone decides to do the same exact build on this same bike, they won't be stuck and spending the hours that we have been doing.
Give them a recap. Tell them what's up.
okay, when the motor's not leaving, we couldn't get it out, and I gotta go home.
So his wife doesn't go.
Yeah, so tune in next week to watch us maybe get this motor out
Again. Or maybe not again.
again. And then next week we'll show you everything that's going
Kyle.
to paint, everything that's going to powder, and everything else. So
Feel that carb and make sure that it's empty. Water. Your hand.
yeah, because I think the craziest thing is that it's I mean, literally, I'm not like where I come from as far as why not just keep splitting cases and pulling it off are, you know, those motors are sealed up really nice from the factory, and it's with rare exception that you can put gaskets back together, especially on a machine like this. Motor has 44,000 miles on it. So to be able to, like, the chances of everything fitting together perfect and never leaking or never having a small drip, because we planned on painting the motor especially too, so you know, we don't want to create this motor doesn't leak at all now. I don't want to create a motor issue where we're going to have leaks. And
another thing, if anyone's doing a build like this is only if you want to make it like nice and flawless. You don't have to take the motor out to do this. The reason why we're removing the motor from the bike is that we want to make everything all nice and smooth, like Aaron said in the video earlier about making everything nice and smooth, massaging everything together and getting it out and powder coating it. You don't have to go that route, but you know, it's going to be our shop bike, so it's going to be going to different events that we're going to be going to.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, realistically, we literally could have just done all the dunning and we could have just spray painted it
and been done with it.
But there's it just the benefit of powder coat is it holds up a lot nicer. And also, too, I mean, it makes a nice, smooth finish. You avoid the risk of any kind of runs.
And it will look good with the new paint. So you'll see new painted bike with the frame, you know, has a lot of years on it. So it'll just go good with everything.
Yeah, especially, too, because I think it'll just wrap everything in together nice. Because
since the wheels are getting done, you know, everything else is getting painted. We figured the frame should get done as well. If we want to do the difficult level with this, I mean...
Yeah, so, I mean, at this point here, that's where the motor sits for this video. We are literally, right now, we just took a break to come front and film this section. So right now, we are in the middle of trying to get the motor out. We literally just pulled the oil pump. So this is the end of this video. If you pay attention, it'll probably post fairly quickly after it, depending on when you're seeing this. But check the playlist, it's in the description, and you can see the video after this of us getting it out. Because at this point, it's coming out one way or another. whether we have to pull the whole motor apart at this point.
Or cut the frame in half. No, we won't do that. But we'll figure out a way. And if anyone else comes up with an idea, hey, maybe we have to go through you guys, because we might be out of options at that point. Or we might want to just burn it.
Yeah, so if you're doing a 1991 Honda Nighthawk Cafe Racer, I would say...
We'll really appreciate it if you gave us some tips, too.
Don't pull the motor out of it. Just leave the motor in. Make it so you can just powder coat it.
Try to find one with a nice frame.
Well, the frame is nice, though.
Yeah, but...
It's just... Because we did all...
Since we get to cutting and stuff,
yeah,
I mean, now we kind of
back
got
of it up.
Yeah. Just leave it stop.
But anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you can, let us know in the comments what you think about the new way we did this video. The reason that we kind of did it was to condense the videos, number one, and also two, it's a way that instead of you just watching a time lapse with some sort of upbeat, funky music going on, it gives you a little more content. So anyways, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you can, hit that like button.
Comment down below.
Hit the subscribe button. You can stay up to date with everything going on at Siegfried's Motorworks. And as always, we will catch you guys
on the next video.
Perfect.